Welcome to TheoTrade. This is Don Kaufman. It's March 6th, 2024. Just about 10 minutes to go to the cash close here on this Wednesday afternoon. The S&P's having a bit of a bounce back to the upside here after yesterday's, well, fairly heavy sell side activity. What I'm about to show you here momentarily, I gotta tell you, it does not bode well for the marketplace. There is weakness again in major tech stocks. In fact, the Magnificent Seven, well, it's down to the final four. Let me explain here, of course, in this evening's video. Right here, right now, S&Ps, well, they were up 30 handles like seconds ago. They're actually backing off here into the cash close to some degree. But look, before I get specific, before I jump into like, oh, let's look at this tech stock, let's talk about Nvidia, before any of that, I want to show you something that I think is pivotal for the marketplace tomorrow, obviously, which is Thursday, Friday, okay? What's really unusual at this moment in time is if you're looking at the S&Ps and you're like, oh, yeah, it's just a rip and bounce back. Right? And that's, I think, what everybody would say, like, don't worry about it, okay? Marketplace is fierce. Any sell side activity is met, okay, with buy that dip in there. One of the stark contrasts that you should see immediately, volatility is not off. Volatility is not giving up an inch with the marketplace actually rallying right now, which is disconcerting to say the least. In fact, very interesting to see volatility has been lifting today. It's kind of flattened out. Yeah, we're looking at volatility futures over here. It's not often that you see a marketplace. And in fact, we're going to look at a 30-day 1 hour. And I just want to zoom in really quick because yesterday's sell side activity got a little bit extreme. So there's some big sell side activity. And in the midst of sell side activity, what do you typically see volatility doing, right? Well, in the midst of sell side activity, if we bring up bring up VIX in this case, okay, bring up the VIX actually, okay, bids higher. So the VIX is actually up, of course, because the marketplace is down. And that's kind of self-explanatory. There's risk coming into the marketplace. The volatility gets bid. We're home. Okay, but time out for a second. On a bounce the day after some sell side activity, you would anticipate not only volatility to be down, but you'd actually anticipate it to be down quite substantially because the marketplace bouncing is like sounding, it's okay, everybody can come out, all clear. You're doing the exact opposite today. And I have to tell you, we could talk about the Magnificent Seven till we're blue in the face, and we will momentarily. But there is absolutely a sign here that no, this is serious right now. Whatever we saw inside of yesterday's sell side activity, it's not done yet. And I'm going to caution you right here, right now, right in front of this video here. Look, pay attention. Okay, it is unusual, very unusual to see volatility flat or slightly up with the S&Ps up on any given day. That would be unusual. But the day after a sell-off, no, this is extreme. This is like stuff that you may only see a handful of times in a given year where sell-side activity hits one day, the market actually rebounds. This is not a rebound is basically what it's telling you. In fact, okay, I'll take my word for it. Look at the S&Ps here. They're getting a little sketchy, if you will, into today's cash close. Now, let's actually talk a little bit about the Magnificent Seven, okay, and a little bit of final four in here because what you are in fact seeing is three of the Magnificent Seven, all right? Obviously, those three being Apple, Tesla, Google. Let's start with Apple. Year-to-date basis, Apple is now down 9%. Taking a look, of course, over at Google. Google is now down about 5% year-to-date basis. And, of course, Tesla's off by a cool 29%. There is no more Magnificent Seven. It's over. Okay, it's over. It's done with. There's no more Magnificent Seven. You can call it the final four. You can call it whatever you want. Microsoft. Let's actually jump to Microsoft. Still up 8.5%, but took on some pretty serious damage yesterday. But let's be honest. Look, it's only a stone's throw off. The all-time high here of 420. I mean, it's trading right now. Okay, we'll zoom in on this. It's trading at the basically the 400 level. I say it took some pretty serious damage. the implication here is not that it took damage yesterday. The implication is that it took on, okay, some damage in yesterday's trade and it did not recover today. So at this point in time, you have to look at Microsoft and think to yourself, wow, what's going to be next in the Magnificent Seven? Microsoft is teed up very, very nicely at that particular point in time. Now, okay, Amazon. Let's actually cruise over to Amazon. Amazon, if we actually look at this in terms of auto expected moves, it too actually it took a little bit of a hit, but disconcerting today. Again, there's mild, follow through. At a 0.2% move, let's call this unchanged on the trading day. What is, again, a little bit disconcerting, though, is that Amazon also tried to rally a number of times here. Amazon tried to rally, actually fell back. So it's going to end the day, okay, very slightly lower. But this is still, if you will, okay, one of the pivotal stocks. So you still have Microsoft kind of holding it together, Amazon holding it together. Now, what's actually driving markets? Unequivocally, we'll start with Nvidia. Okay, obviously Nvidia, not only hasn't it been damaged, I mean, what are we up, like 83%? There you go, almost 84% year-to-date basis. You look at it in terms of auto expected moves, okay, you're on your way to almost a 2 deviation move. Taking a quick glance over at Meta. Meta is a very different story. Meta took a big hit in yesterday's marketplace. It's bouncing today, okay, but I actually want to zoom in for a second and show you Meta is still technically down on the week. This is a really interesting situation because, and I was talking about this on last weekend's update, you're just getting more areas of big tech that are just getting chopped out at the legs. And we're just constantly like, well, okay, so what's really left? I mean, today there's Nvidia. Yeah, Meta has a little bit of a bid under it, okay, but the performance is nothing in comparison to Nvidia. In fact, as crazy as it may sound, if you look at market cap of Nvidia and start to compare it to Apple, you realize they're closing the gap very, very quickly. In fact, to give you specifics here, Nvidia is now a $2.2 trillion product. Apple is actually a $2.6 trillion product. It's amazing that in a period of about 2 months that we're actually starting to not only compare Apple and Nvidia in terms of market cap, but the gap between them is only $400 billion at this point in time. Things are getting downright scary. Moreover, the bounce today only took the QQQ, okay, back, okay, to the lower edge of the expected move, meaning that, the Qs actually got rocked yesterday and they rallied back today, but the rally back is very, very meager. Maybe it's one of the reasons that volatility, they still see that in terms of volatility and keeping volatility bid at this particular point in time. All right. So let's get right down to business and also look at expected move. So as the market's coming to it's the cash close over here, the S&Ps are up 25. As I said, though, trade over here, it's fast, it's broken, it's disconnected. Look at the size of some of the moves that you're seeing. People, it's, look, we're in the last minute or two right now, but, 5-10 minutes before the cash close, okay, a lot of uncertainty inside of this tape. And really, the marketplace is resilient, but it's resilient on the back of on Nvidia. As I said, not even Meta is even on the week. Let's go look at the SPX because this is critical into the end of the week. One of the aspects well worth noting is that SPX the entire week was looking for a $64 move. Clearly on Tuesday, we hit it, we broke through, okay, we've rallied back. Right now, we're about halfway home, okay, halfway home to the lower edge of an expected move. However, okay, one of the aspects that you really want to think about is there's still a lot of risk ahead of us right now, okay, and the implication of that is like, look, nothing, okay, is set in stone over here. The S&Ps took a little bit of a hit on Tuesday. As I said, it kind of feels like they bounced back, but something's going on in volatility. My concern at this point is this is a heavy expected move between now and Friday. And that really only constitutes, of course, Thursday trading session and Friday trading session. We are still close to, well, it's almost a $47 expected move. So in fact, volatility has actually come up quite a bit, and it's actually, it's raising the expected moves as the days have gone on. Hey, look, I know that we have a jobs number coming out. Okay, so there's a jobs number coming out, of course, the employment situation on Friday. Okay, and that's it for the trading session today. So the jobs numbers coming out and the employment situation on Friday, okay? There's still testimony from Jerome Powell. Okay, there's jobless claims. There's an ECB announcement. There's a lot of catalysts in this marketplace that could still cause, considerable moves. But I would say what is really going to resonate in the next 2 days, it's still tech. It's absolutely still tech. I mean, the one thing, and I'm going to leave you with this tonight, we have still not seen, okay, Nvidia take any damage. And you have to recognize when, you're down to effectively one stock right now that's driving the marketplace. I mean, again, you can mention Meta all you want. However, Meta is still, as I said, it is down on the week. So it's not, it's not a contributing factor, positively other than today's trading session. We have still not seen Nvidia, okay, really take on any heat whatsoever in the marketplace. Okay, not even for really but a brief and fleeting moment in terms of Tuesday's trade did we see Nvidia actually see some sell side activity before stabilizing and then rallying. Okay, and that was in the midst of some big sell side activity. I caution you, the remainder of this week, again, that marketplace sees something. Short-term volatility still technically bid. And the S&Ps are closing today on this Wednesday up almost 30 handles. Okay, volatility flat to slightly elevated. Once again, this marketplace, evidently it sees something. Thanks everybody for joining us here at TheoTrade. Have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.